Ouch! That looks like it hurt. Let's watch it again. Yep, that hurt alright. But exactly what injury has this poor person suffered? Is it A, a subconcussive hit, B, a concussion, or C, CTE? Actually, we have no way of knowing just from this video alone. Why? Let's explore what we know, and more importantly, what we don't know, about various types of head injuries. So first, what are subconcussive hits, and how do they compare to concussions? A subconcussive hit is a head injury that does not result in symptoms. A concussion, then, does result in symptoms. To demonstrate, let's take another look at our friend Phil and his partner Bill. After Phil gets hit in the head with a hammer, he gets up, starts walking around, and feels completely fine. This can be identified as a subconcussive hit. Bill, on the other hand, is hit in the head with a nut and experiences a blackout, followed by a headache, dizziness, and nausea. This can be identified as a concussion. You may have noticed that Bill and Phil had wildly different reactions to different degrees of brain injury. The simple reason for this is that brains are extremely diversified and therefore have extremely diverse reactions to injuries. But how can this be? Shouldn't harder hits always result in more injury than lesser hits? Not necessarily. To understand why, let's look at how concussions happen. The nut that hit Bill's head caused a change of momentum in his brain, making it twist and contort. This movement puts strain on the delicate system of axons and neurons that the brain is comprised of. It is this strain that the brain reacts to, and not the physical injury itself. Thus, it doesn't just depend on the injury, it also depends on the brain. This leads us into our last brain condition, which is chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. CTE is probably the most feared and the least understood brain condition of all. So first, let's clarify what it is. CTE is caused by repeated trauma to the head. That's why neither Phil nor Bill could have CTE as of yet, since neither one of them has been hit in the head more than once. CTE is a lifelong neurodegenerative disease, meaning that it gradually kills neurons in the brain until death. This can result in a wide variety of symptoms, the most serious of which being dementia and depression. It is currently irreversible and incurable. This is everything we know about CTE, and that's pretty scary, but what's even more important is what we don't know about it. For starters, we have no idea how much trauma is required to cause CTE. Will a lot of subconcussive hits set it off, or are a few serious concussions enough? We also have no way of diagnosing CTE in a living person. In fact, the only way CTE can be found is by performing an autopsy on a person's brain after death. This is extremely important to bear in mind, because many people with multiple head injuries have recklessly jumped to the conclusion that they had CTE when they may not have had it at all. This insidious belief has spread greatly in recent years and has driven perfectly healthy people to commit suicide because of it. This horrible belief must be addressed. As Mark Twain once said, "It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so."